So already you talked about how you became a Muslim, isn't it? It's finished,
Yes.
I think, yeah. So let's come to other one. After you became a Muslim, what was the reaction of your community? Did you got negative attitude from your friends? Did you got positive attitude from your around? It was any positive or negative change in your business and family life after you became a Muslim?
Yes, when I converted to Islam, I had already given my family an idea that I was questioning my religion. And when I told them that I'm a Muslim now, my parents were very upset. They felt betrayed, and they felt that what they had done as parents, raising me and guiding me through my adolescence into the church, that I had left that sort of behind. But when I talked to them about Islam, one of the first things I did was I took a book called Understanding Islam to them, and of course a copy of the English translation of Quran. And we talked about different things, the points that were comparable in Islam with Christianity. We talked about the holiness of the books of Allah, the Torah, the Injil, and the Quran. And I explained to them very slowly. They weren't resistance that they sent me away or denied me for much of that time. They just would say, do you have to wear that on your head? Is it really time for you to stop and pray now? And with me being consistent and treating them in a kind way, they were very gentle then, and their attitudes towards me changed greatly. It was easy for them to accept when they knew that I hadn't really left behind everything that they had taught me, but that Islam sort of completed who I was, that I was more honest with them, that I was committed to a life of modesty and moderation, and that I really had a personal relationship with my Creator, and they were pleased with that. It didn't affect me negatively in a way that it made me lose a job. Of course, when I was a professional and working in the retail industry selling clothing, there was a question, how can you know what's fashionable and you're covered up and not looking very fashionable? I did change professions, and I moved out of state and actually ended up working for an Islamic organization, and that helped tremendously. I had a chance to live my life as a Muslimah and grow and learn more about Islam soon after my conversion, and that really helped me develop as who I am today. I did get back to the education, and I thought that it was very important for the children of our Islamic schools to see an English-speaking Muslimah, somebody that could guide them and help them grow in their education. So I went back to teaching, and that's where I am working today.
After you became a Muslim, did you change your mind about Muslims and Islam? Because some people have some different ideas about the Muslims, but after some years, when you go to deepness of the Islamic people's soil and deep of Islam, then what's the change? You understand?
Absolutely. I think the best example of that is one of the Sahabi said, if I had to be a Muslim because of the people, I would never be a Muslim. And I learned that although, Islam has so many benefits, not every Muslim takes full advantage of those benefits in their daily life. So what I had to do was not become disappointed because of the behavior of Muslims that aren't practicing, but find out more for myself about the religion and increase my knowledge, increase my understanding, so that I felt fulfilled, not from the people, but knowing that I'm pleasing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's always contradictory in every society and every religion. There are Christians that practice very committedly, and there are Christians that are just holiday Christians that come only on the high holidays. So I was used to that idea. Idealistically, I didn't expect that from the Muslims, but I oftentimes found that to be the case, that Muslims have different levels of commitment, and their practice also exhibits that. So it wasn't a shock for me, but there have been many times that I expect something and have been disappointed. But I know that Allah, Ghafur Rahim, in His mercy and in His forgiveness, He will look at each person based on their individual actions.
In Islam, all the things are beautiful. But which one of the ideas mostly impressed you? Of course, everything is good. We cannot say this is
Yes.
bad, but mostly.
I really felt that through Islam, I gained so many things that Christianity didn't offer me. Really, the personal relationship with God, the idea that when I stand in Salah, that there's nobody there in front of me other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That my guide for living my daily life is that will this please Allah or not? I don't have to be in fear of individuals or ideals, but only I have to be fearful of Allah. And that created a strength in me and a confidence as a human being that I'm able to live my life in the most decent way possible and still have a personality of values and character that's becoming to other individuals. The other thing is that we are a humanity, that there's no difference among the believers, not from Malaysia or Indonesia or from the Arab world or from America, except those that have knowledge and faith. And you can be the richest person in the world, or you could be the poorest person in the world, and Allah will judge you only on your individual actions. And so money doesn't count, status, family name, the country of your origin, but that we're all one humanity.
Okay. Even in this subject, what you were talking, you can say hadith and ayah. You can say for the next.
Inshallah.
Because there is one hadith. لا ينظر أحدكم إلى أصوركم وأموالكم ولكن ينظر إلى قلوبكم وأعمالكم.
Yes.
So now I remember this. That's why I said. What's your opinion about the Islamic world in our days? What are the problems? What's the solutions? What are the advantages of Islamic world? What's the deficits?
Well,
excuse me.
Yes.
If you want, I go one by one. For example, one by one. What are the problems of Islamic world? Then I ask to the solutions.
Well, it appears to me that oftentimes the leadership in the Islamic world is lacking. By name, they're Muslims, but they don't necessarily follow what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had intended. So in their leadership process, they move away from Islam, and I understand their reasoning for doing that, but the true fact of the matter is that when they're claiming to be Muslims and they're not following what Islam teaches, they're creating inconsistencies. The other situation that we have is that although we have opportunities to make a good presence of Islam in countries that are not known to be Islamically based, we oftentimes make a mess of things. We don't present the proper face of Islam, often extremist in nature, and when people see extreme things, they tend to move away from it rather than be drawn to it. If we take a more moderate stance, meaning the leadership and the believers, if we're in the moderate mode, we'll find people very open to accept Islam and Islamic leadership.
Excuse me, I thought that you finished. Go ahead. You are talking the problems.
Yes, one of the other problems that I've noticed, and especially being in a place where in America.
Excuse me, my voice come over your more voice. The editor cannot cut.
Okay.
So 4, 3, 2, 1.
As Muslims come to America or places in the world other than their homelands, I find that everybody likes to support their nationalism. For instance, we'll find a group of Sudanese people sticking together and communicating with one another. Although they're Muslims, they're not incorporating themselves into the Muslim community. When we have this nationalistic view, we tend to fractionalize the Ummah or the members of the Muslim community rather than draw it together. One of the beautiful things that happens here in Dallas every Eid is that we rent the convention center downtown, and a group of about 35 to 40,000 Muslims pray Salat al-Eid together. So what it does is it creates a sense of unity. Although we can't be together like that at every Salah or every event, at least 2 times during the year we do get together, and you truly feel the strength and the magnitude of what the Muslim community can do.
What's the solutions? What we must do for those problems you talk already?
I think it's important for everybody to feel that they're part of their own community first and foremost, meaning it's okay to be nationalistic and be proud of your heritage, but you have to overcome that pride with what Islam teaches us, is that there is no difference from, although Allah commanded us to go to nations and tribes and expand the religion, it's good to respect that, but not let that take over and not leave the Islamic values for what's tradition and custom of the area that they're from.